Hey, Nadia.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Today I get to hear about Nadia's weekend.
First, we're talking about your new plans.
Yes. Okay. Let's related to your weekend. So I am hosting my very first full on retreat. I say full on because I've done a couple things that were like me hosting a retreat. Like I've done a couple things in Tahoe just to test out bringing groups. I have taught Pilates at somebody else's retreat, but this time it's fully me hosting it with all the like having the web page and having people
Mm,
sign up for it. And unfortunately, I'm not actually doing it all by myself because the content is going to be provided by not just me, but my friend Grace, Dr. Grace Tan, who was on this podcast maybe a year ago. And
mm,
she's a psychologist. I don't know if it's just me and because I'm wanting to throw a retreat, but I'm feeling like people need this kind of human connection. We spend
yeah,
a lot of time online.
I agree. I definitely am always seeking that, especially when you become more aware of how much time you spend on like an electronic device or very not even it is can't doesn't even need to be connected to being on social media, but being at work all day and not really talking to other people or studying or being at school and not talking to other your peers. I guess at school you're talking to your peers. If you're doing schoolwork, then not so much. But yeah.
I was listening to somebody, it was a YouTube video. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
exactly sure what context it was in, but he was a educator turned scientist and he was his
Mm-hmm.
PhD. He's studying how people learn and talking about how actually Gen Z, your generation, is the first to test lower in so many different ways regarding intelligence. So you can question intelligence tests like IQ tests or whatever, but I guess giving him the benefit of the doubt when he says that they've looked at it in various ways, not just IQ, but I don't know, reading comprehension and all these different ways of testing people. And in all the different ways, Gen Z has scored lower than previous generations. And he talked about how when societies turn more to digital means of education, that is where you see a drop off in scores related to intelligence.
Is that generational related or just I guess like technology related, or like the fact that there's a less of an emphasis on standardized testing now than in previous generations?
Yeah, I think that what he's talking about, we need to dive a little bit closer. Who knows? Let's go a little bit deeper in before we believe exactly that little excerpt that I saw on YouTube. However, it brings up this idea that it brings up to question the way that you guys are educated, your generation is educated versus previous generations. And even when, even, not even talking about social media, but talking about just bringing a computer into the classroom to educate kids changes the way people are digesting information and not in a good
Mm-hmm.
way, is what he was saying. The reason I bring this up now is because you guys are even not talking about social media, you are sometimes learning through computer means. Like, for example, you have some classes that are all online, right? And it's not even like human discussion. It's like mostly, what do you call it when you learn at different times?
It's asynchronous, but all of the
Asynchronous.
asynchronous classes involve discussion boards or grouped projects. Like it's not entirely like no human contacts. I understand what you're saying,
I
but
think he's saying even if it's a discussion board where humans are interacting with each other, it's somehow less digested isn't digested as well as when it's an actual human interacting with a human and talking about things.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
my point is
true.
to say that we're talking about this retreat and how it's not about education, but it is about a response to the way that we live a lot of our days these days, which is in front of a computer and interacting with people, even the way that you and I are right now, like on over the internet, is different than connecting with people directly.
It's true. I think
Yeah.
that it's important and probably something that people are lacking but don't realize it.
Yeah. I mean, there are selfish reasons that I'm throwing this retreat. Like selfish in that I enjoy this type of thing. I enjoy creating experiences. I enjoy teaching movement. I enjoy going to other countries and experiencing that with other people. And so, just like a lot of parts of my job, I am making an income and making it part of my job to do this thing. And I'm hoping that it results in me getting to do more of them, at least on a yearly basis, but maybe a few per year. And I'm hoping that it brings to the community or the people that are attending everything that I love about movement and travel and seeing our world from a different perspective.
Yeah. Do you think that, I guess, how have you, I guess what I'm trying to ask is, have you made it accessible to the general public? Or are you targeting a certain population with your retreat?
I'm not specifically targeting a particular population, but I do imagine that these are older adults that have time to and freedom to step out of their everyday life in the middle of October and the financial flexibility to take care of themselves in this like somewhat indulgent way. Like it is important. It is important like to take, I think, to take a step back, take a vacation, take exercise and participate in the inner strength and focus and calm skills that Dr. Tan's going to be providing. Of course, that's important for everybody. But when I say indulgent, it's taking it to another country. And yeah, so people have the time and financial freedom to go on these trips. But I'm not making it really like expensive for what it is.
Yeah. I just
Can you
asked for like
imagine yourself going on a
retreats.
retreat?
I was just gonna say that I brought that up because like retreats right now are confused with brand trips or like influencer trips, which are used to promote a certain brand's thing, like makeup or whatever. But they like make it in a way that is, oh, look at all these influencers doing this thing that you could never have the opportunity to do. Not in a negative way, but just look at all this stuff. Makes you want to buy it so you could be one step closer to them, whatever. Those are the points of those influencer brand trips. So I feel, and now those same influencers are going on these retreats, or I guess maybe not the same, but retreats are trying to target like influencers so that they can get the, like, help promote their retreat. And I think that for that, I don't see myself going on a retreat in the sense that I don't want it to show everybody that I went on a retreat. Like I don't want to go on a retreat to benefit another person. I want it to be about me. It selfishly, just like if I were to pay a lot of money to go on a retreat like yours, then, I'd want it to be a time to better my own self and not have a whole week of me trying to show a bunch of people all the money I have or all the free things that I get, which
I
I don't
didn't
think
know
I'd
what you were
ever have the
talking about.
opportunity for, but
I didn't know what you were talking about at first. And then I realized as you were talking that I just saw somebody go on this. There are these people that I know that are it's a physical therapist and married to another physical therapist. And they have a really big account, a lot of following on their Instagram account. And they were able to go on a retreat provided by a particular brand the whole thing paid for by a particular brand so that all of the people that follow them on their Instagram can see them using that brand. And to be fair, they said, the influencer said, we're not required to do anything. We're not required to share on our Instagram this material, this product, but we just want to thank this organization for taking us out here and spoiling us and treating us well. Yeah, I see. That's more like an all expense paid vacation for doing a good job
Yeah.
as like an influencer. And
Mhm.
it's like a PR event or something like that, a public relations event or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I'm talking about is a retreat that is for the everyday people that aren't influencers, but that's a good way to get my retreat actually more popular, is if I have an influencer come on my retreat. But no, this is not made for influencers. This is made for the everyday person that wants to take a step away from their everyday life and learn skills about relaxation and how to calm down the nervous system, and learn skills like movement skills, have an opportunity to take a break from their regular fitness class and reset the way they think about the way that their body moves. And then, just in a simple terms, just get exercise and just get time to reflect. And then everything is paid for. They pay for it ahead of time, but everything's taken care of, like their transportation to and from the retreat center and the food and stuff. So I'm hoping for people to just feel like they're being taken care of and so that they can relax. What I'm afraid of is that it's going to be like the opposite of relaxing for me. Not that I'm supposed to be relaxing, but oh my gosh, I'm a little bit worried that everyone is going to have a lot of needs that I'm going to have to take care of, and I'm not going to
Mhm.
do a good job of that. But I hope I do.
Yeah. I think that with yours, it might. I know you didn't target towards a certain population, but I think that the person that might choose it it wouldn't be like their first time out of the country type situation.
Yeah. But also, like, I feel pretty comfortable traveling out of the country. So I'm trying to pick, I think it's fun to get people out of their comfort zone a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
if this might be a place that it's going to be in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. So this might not be a place that they would choose to travel to on their own, because maybe Cabo or Puerto Vallarta or Cancun might be or Mexico City might be the standard
Mhm.
place that people might go to. It's a little bit off the beaten track path for people. And I enjoy that I'm bringing people there. And in the future, I imagine the next one might be in Uvita, Costa Rica, and maybe Siargao, Philippines.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So tell me
And
about your weekend. You said it was like a retreat.
yeah, not really, but in a way, I guess a college version of a retreat. Don't think I would have enough money. I don't think I'll have enough money to allocate towards a retreat for a long, long while. So I guess this was my version of it. But I went skiing this weekend, and we stayed at a cabin, or not a cabin. I guess we stayed at an Airbnb in Vermont, and it was me and seven other people. And the Airbnb that we stayed in just happened to be on sale at the time that we wanted to be there. So it was like a lot cheaper than it usually would have been, and honestly cheaper than the other options. And it was like this insane house that was built, has a whole story attached to it, like a, I guess maybe famous like architect, like designer, who put a lot of effort into the house. And I think like it's also treated as a museum. Maybe there's probably lots of stories about each parts of the house that like I don't really know. But the way that, I don't even know how to explain what the house looked like. Just the type of thing where you just want to sit on the couch and like stare at the ceiling and look at all the different things in the house, because it just doesn't look like a normal house would look like. And there's like a lot of plants growing in the house, which is like kind of weird for it being in the middle of Vermont in the middle of the winter. But there was a lot of greenery inside, and I don't know, just like little quirks about it. But I haven't had a moment like this with friends. Obviously, I've had it like with family in a while, and it was really I guess it was relaxing and rejuvenating. Also, just like time to, for me personally, not for everyone, for me personally, time to reflect, but also time to like connect with other people. I was with a group of people, not all of them I had met or I'd talked to before. So, I don't know. I feel like that makes things interesting. So you're just like getting to know everybody in a different way where it's like you're trapped in a house basically with the extra side of skiing together. But yeah, I should have been doing my work, but I did not do any work. I didn't watch TV for once this weekend, and I wasn't on my computer. I was on my phone though. So in a way, I was on a, what's the word?
Device.
Unplug?
Oh,
No. What is
somewhat
it called?
unplugged.
Yeah, somewhat unplugged for the weekend. But yeah, unfortunately, these things that I like to do and feel like I need to do, like this weekend, to help relax or help me not get all bundled up with anxiety and stress all the time, are really expensive. So I feel like I can only do this not very often, but I hope
Here's
to.
the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. It is quite possible to do to have a moment like that for totally free, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can unplug and just decide that you are gonna be silent for the weekend, or you can like just take like long walks in nature places near where you live. But
Yeah.
the sometimes when you sign yourself up to relax and
Mm-hmm.
you it makes you commit to it and you
Yeah.
actually do relax. So yeah, I think that's part of it too. Like I could do this retreat here, like all the
Mm-hmm.
entire curriculum that we have planned, it could be here in the Bay Area. And even ask people to stay in a hotel in the Bay Area or something like that. So they're not at
Mm-hmm.
home thinking about their cleaning their house or whatever. But it's like somehow because you've committed to being somewhere else and paying
Mm-hmm.
some money, it like
Mm-hmm.
you are committed then to do what you set out to do, which is
Yeah.
reflect and
Yeah.
relax. And yeah, yeah.
I would say
Um,
I agree. I could definitely do it here in my apartment, but I don't know. I feel like I can't escape like stress when I'm in. If I'm next to all the things I have to do, like my computer's open, I can see all the stuff that's due or like all the to do, the things on my to do list that I've made for myself, like that's readily available in front of me and I can't really escape it. So it feels more relaxing in the moment to work on the things that I've set out for myself for the week, when in reality, it's not always helpful. But I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to find that balance, but we'll see.
it's true. Sometimes, and I feel like it's sick, like it's more relaxing to just get through my email
Yeah, but
than to
yeah,
sit and watch TV because it's like looming over you. So might as well just do it.
we talked about this last time. I'm a horrible multitasker. Horrible meaning I'm really good at it to an extent that like shouldn't be. I shouldn't be multitasking when I'm, well, if I'm watching TV, like on the other tab, I'm, or on the other side of my computer screen, like I'm playing out my entire week with every like little thing that I have to do during every single day and what time it has to happen at. And technically my mind's relaxing, but really it's not. It's just, I don't know.
It's
Always
actually
thinking
not.
what's to
It's
come.
actually opposite.
Yeah. But I felt like this weekend I could escape that for just a little bit. And also being with like people I didn't know as well kind of adds to things. It's just like I'm trying to be the most present version of myself that I can be, you know?
Yeah.
So,
That's so true. That's so real. Because when you're with just like the people that you hang out with all the time, you don't have to talk every moment. You can just be
yeah,
next to each other and be on your phone or your computer. The four of us did that over the
right,
break. All four of us
right.
sitting next to each other on our laptops.
Mhm.
But yeah, when you're with new people, why would you do that? You come off like
Yeah.
an a-hole.
It's
You
like,
can't be the one on your
you know,
computer.
yeah. It's also hard. I don't know. Like I played games. I don't know. It was just, it was like more wholesome, I guess. But all these things are possible here in my apartment. Just everyone's so busy doing their own thing, hanging out with their own sets of friends or classmates, significant others also. So it's just about, I don't know. Also, this house in the middle of Vermont, in the middle of nowhere, with no houses next to us, in a scary barn on the way into the house.
I want to know why it was on
So
sale. Did somebody die in there or something?
actually, the architect did just die recently, but I don't think he died in the house. I think, I don't know. I don't think it was like, I actually don't know. I think maybe because they just wanted it rented for the holiday weekend. Because I think there was someone who had rented right before us. But yeah, I don't really have words to describe. It actually just had to be there. I guess I could show you pictures, but it was just insane. I can't even imagine like actually living in a house that looked like that. Look like those things that you put on Instagram Reels, and it's which room would you sleep in this? I don't know if you've seen those, but they do like these things with these luxury dream houses in the middle of the woods. Which bed did you want? Would you sleep in? This house had no curtains. The room I slept in with my friend, like me and her were, first of all, in a bed that pulled out from the wall. So it was like, it looked like
The Murphy bed, right?
I don't know what a Murphy bed is, but we pulled it out of the wall and all around, and it was so we slept facing the wall, but all around us was windows. And you could see houses in the like distance. It's just all windows and no curtains.
So maybe that's why it was for sale, because you were the show for the neighbors.
Honestly, we thought about it. And like we were reading through the guest book, and it's just okay, are we gonna get murdered? Which is why nobody left. Because we're all forced to hang out with each other. And
Where would you go anyway?
I don't know, out to eat, I don't know. But nobody after skiing, like nobody wanted to leave. But I think that's my favorite way of hanging out with people, when everyone's forced to hang out in a place and you don't have any other option but to talk to each other and hang out with each other.
Like COVID?
No, not like COVID, but
Because that is
I
what
can't
happened
I
in
can't
2020.
parallel play anymore. No, it's not. I saw nobody.
Oh, each other. We all hung out with each other.
We didn't though. All sat in our separate rooms. But no, not like that. That was probably that was not my finest moment. I would not do that again, but this I would do.
Okay, we talked a long time about retreats. I'm surprised about how long we could talk about retreats.
I think we've talked about retreats before too.
Yeah. Here's to hoping that all of you guys that are listening out there have made it this far in this conversation, first of all. And second of all, thanks for being here. And second of all, I hope you get to go on a retreat, whether it's right outside of your apartment door or far away in a place that you've never been to before.
New
All
resolution.
right. Bye, Nadia.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.